We're rolling into week 12, and we're almost to the fantasy football playoffs. We got another waiver wire to blast off to, and today we're looking at those running backs. Every week, we look at pretty much the whole waiver wire for the running back position, covering pretty much any question you may have, because Big Fantasy won't do it, the other YouTube sites won't do it, but I'll do it for you guys. That means you need to click that subscribe button right now, because we're going deeper, covering the waiver wire than anybody else. We're before the big fantasy sites when it comes to getting the content out. We're more correct. Even when the games are out, we got the waiver wire covered for you. And then on top of that, we're deep diving all the trending prospects, and we're helping you set your lineups at the end of the week. Click that button. Stop missing out. We will be here next year, and this is a free resource to you, and you do not want to disappoint Ric Flair. But starting off, Manny Wilson, and he will get a deep dive today. And deep dives are important because you might be looking at Manny Wilson, you're like, should I pick him up? What am I expecting? Am I expecting him to hit every single game or just a little bit here and there? If Josh Jacobs' injury is very significant and he's out a bit, Manny Wilson will be getting a lot of touches. He will be getting a lot of opportunity. Odds of him of hitting the fairway week in and week out increases massively. I don't expect him to be like the next Bijan, but I expect him to score touchdowns. I expect him to get double-digit opportunities, touches, and targets. I expect him to get enough work to where he's scoring 10 plus to that 10 to 15 range of fantasy scoring every single week. Of course, natural down games. Of course, those natural games where you might cross the goal line twice. But I expect him to get a lot of workload. And with the waiver wire right now, you're looking at handcuffed running backs, and you're looking at speculative running backs that might be getting some touches here and there. But rarely you see a running back that just steps in and is forecasted for the whole workload, 15 to 20 touches, maybe even more depending on game script, depending on what other running backs get anointed during this process. But he's been steady this year and last year as a 1B backup running back, getting work, and then also getting you some fantasy football performances where he's scoring as well. Sean Tucker. Now, he might have been picked up in your league. He should have been picked up last week. We called the alarm last week. We did a full video just on him doing the deep dive. So you know more about this player so you can make the decision for yourself. And a lot of you guys made that choice because he led this team in rushing the 2 weeks prior to this game blowing up. So the odds are Bucky's not in, because that's the risk now. If Bucky comes back, he could be back this week. He could be back later. It's trending that he's going to be back soon. Sean Tucker, though, if Bucky's out, he's going to lead the team in rushing yards and carries going forward. Rachaad White's going to get the workload in the passing game. Sean Tucker's going to have a very low floor due to not getting much work, much opportunities in the passing game. Probably getting like 2-ish targets a game. But he is going to have potential to score touchdowns. He's going to get those red zone looks up the gut. He's going to be getting a lot of carries and could volume in to fantasy production. He's at least going to be a good guy for the flex, gambling with week in and week out until Bucky's officially back. Bam night. We're watching Trey Benson. But the Cardinals are in these game scripts that just pop off. Michael Carter sucks, and Amari Demercado's hurt. So Bam Knight's the man until Trey Benson is back. So if you need touches where you're looking at him getting 10 or more opportunities a game, he didn't get all the opportunities in this matchup, but Amari Demercado got hurt in this matchup. And you're looking at Bam Knight here, scoring 14 fantasy points. He has a nose for the end zone. He's getting work. He's getting opportunities. He's not bombastic when it comes to efficiency, but he's a lot better than Michael Carter. We did a battle video of Michael Carter and Amari Demercado, and we said, Michael Carter is probably going to get the carries, but he's going to suck, and Amari Demercado is going to be more explosive, and that's really what we got. And you may want to just look out for Bam Knight. And I like the more explosive player all the time in that scenario. But Bam Knight was the guy you're looking out for. And Bam Knight is going to siphon the work. he could rummage his way to 10-plus PPR fantasy points on any given Sunday with Trey Benson out, because Michael Carter already got cut and brought back. Like, they keep cutting him and bringing him back. Like, you can say that's for a reason in multiple different ways, but Bam Knight's here to at least rummage for the workload and get some points for you in fantasy. Good, bad, or ugly, at least you got some workload. Basil Tuten. We're watching the ankle. News reports saying everything might be all right, but he looked explosive. And one of the speculations going into the back end of the season, especially after the bye here, is him just starting to take over a little bit more work and starting to show off what he can do. We got that Week 11 against the Chargers. You need to watch him. You need to stash him. He's starting to be up there with that Blake Corum territory now because the touches might ramp up. Everything might ramp up in the back end of the season here with Basil Tuten. That's something to look at. But also, you're watching the ankle. LeQuint Allen's also good. LeQuint Allen and Basil Tuten so good that they could easily ship off Tank Bigsby and not worry about it. And you saw Tank Bigsby rush for 100 yards with the Eagles. But capital plus 2 good backs, it's fine. It's fine for them. And LeQuint Allen's good. Run the ball at the gut. He can catch the ball in the backfield. If Tuten gets hurt and Etienne gets hurt, pick him up. He's good enough to get it done. He's good enough to at least get you the Trey Sermon effect where the amount of carries per game will at least get you something once out of every like 4-ish games, 3.5-ish games, where it's like 10-plus PPR fantasy points or more in those matchups due to volume. You want running backs that get carries, that get touches, even bad ones. And I think LeQuint Allen's a lot better, but that's the downside. So LeQuint Allen, look at him if he starts getting anointed, and if you're in a deeper league, you may want to think about stashing Chris Rodriguez. Now, if you're chasing a running back that's getting 12-plus touches a game, getting a lot of opportunities, but you know it's still a risk, but those touches you like because there's an increase of opportunity for fantasy production, Chris Rodriguez is your guy off the waiver wire. You got to buy this week. You can't use him this week. It's going to be hard to trust him against Denver, so you may want to hold off. You may not be able to start him. If you look at your lineup, look at your bench plays, and you're like, I can't start him week 12, obviously, but week 13, I don't know if I can get it done, then you might want to stay away and look a different direction, but he is getting touches. Devin Singletary, same thing, but you also got a matchup this week. You can use him against Detroit, not 100% optimal, and also the Patriots in a bye, so you may not be using him the next 3 weeks. That's the question here. If odds are unlikely that you're using him the next 3 weeks, the upside's not so immense. Like, he's not scoring 2 touchdowns every game. Like, he might cross the goal line here and there. Like, this offense moves the ball. Like, he's getting some good opportunity here. But if you can't use him the next couple weeks, then maybe you look at more of a stash play with upside for the back end. If you need those touches, though, it doesn't matter. You chase those touches and you throw them in. Tank Bigsby is a stash with a lot of upside. If Saquon goes down, it looks like he's going to be the man. We saw that in week 8. Very explosive with the ball in his hands. Looks more explosive than ever. Even at Auburn, even when he was hot with the Jaguars. He's going to be the next man up. We like Will Shipley too. Throwing him out there just so those naysayers are like, hey, what about him? What about him? Yes, we'll talk about him. We just did. But Tank Bigsby will command the fab. He would be next in line with the money touches and opportunities. And you want the next man up after a cuff, it'd be Tank. Same thing with Kyren Williams. Kyren Williams, if he goes down, Blake Corum turns into Kyren Williams. That's why we like this. And he's looking very good on the field this year. Sure, he had some blips this year. Sure, he's had some moments, but he's been looking good on the field. Very explosive, too. He turns into Kyren Williams as he gets all the touches. You'll see Hunter come up. You'll see him be explosive. You'll see Rivers, too. You're looking at Corum here. Corum is a very good running back prospect, and they bring along their players, especially their running backs, as you've seen, slowly, but he's been doing good with his opportunities. Tyler Allgeier, one of the top handcuffs in the space, and if you're in a dire situation and you don't want to make a roster move and you want to throw somebody in the flex, he's one of the few handcuff running backs, 1B backs out there that you have the choice to make that gamble. It may not always be the best choice, Usually it's not, but he will splash from time to time. And that creates more value for him. If you got Bijan, you want Tyler Allgeier, because if you lose Bijan, you want the next man up, and you don't want to go up against the next man up, because all of a sudden you're down a running back, and now you're going up against a guy who's now up a running back that now has an RB2 who was hurting at RB2. So now you're looking at that potential probability, championship game, late in the playoffs. Brian Robinson, same issue here. Christian McCaffrey's been holding strong, nothing against him. And they're starting to give him a little bit more work. Like a lot of the work in game that you're seeing here are in money situations here where they're allowing CMC to get a little breather. They're seeing what they got in Brian Robinson. Brian Robinson good between the tackles. You're looking at the touches, opportunities here in this offense. You can definitely tell he'll be the next man up. If Christian McCaffrey goes down, he will be the fat buster, so don't get busted if you lose your stud. Same thing with Devin Achin. Ollie Gordon's the next man up. He would get the money touches. Jalen Wright would be the shotgun running back, getting touches in this backfield sparingly, but could hit randomly on Sundays. Ollie Gordon would be the guy to get. As you get deeper, the more you want to stash. If you're starting to get holes on your bench and you don't know what to do, stash, cuff your stuff, get some upside at running back. Running back's the position that you can forecast the next man up getting the touches. You can't do that at wide receiver. The backup wide receiver, when the starter goes down, isn't going to get the targets the starter was going to get. It's just going to fan out. But you can project this more with the running backs. It's a safer bet. It's more projectable. It's easier to do. And even a bad running back and not so good. Like, turns out Ollie Gordon runs like he's blind, like he's Ray Charles out there, but he's getting 20 opportunities a game, carries and targets, and you're looking at that. Well, over time, over like 3 or 4 games, if he's running like he's Ray Charles, he's going to accidentally find you fantasy production. Like, that's going to happen. Rando wide receivers who are backups that suck for the NFL ain't going to do that. But a Ray Charles running back will do that. That's why we're stashing running backs. Devin Neal, he's not in a great situation. We're coming off a bye. Alvin Kamara is still there. He didn't get traded away. But if Alvin Kamara gets banged up and you're looking at these Saints here, do you think he's going to fight really fast to come back to this? Do you think he's going to be like in the healing tank, getting ready, getting optimal? Or he's like, that's my 2025, guys, because we're late in the season. The story has been written. Let's see what Audric Estime, I'm throwing that name out there too, decorated running back from Notre Dame, Devin Neal has to go. I look at him as a deeper stash, decorated prospect from Kansas. Hit it good as a freshman all the way through his collegiate career. Very stout, good running back prospect. Very interested to see what he would look like with a full workload. Ty Johnson, a lot of people are looking at him. He popped off for 15 fantasy points. The thing about this, he has this potential in him. He's very explosive, good with the ball in his hands, good in space. Very explosive player. Ray Davis would be the fab buster here because historically, and it's a small sample, when Cook goes down, Ray Davis gets the workload, especially up the gut. I did the battle video weeks ago. This is how I called it out. And you'll be like, man, that's safe. That's not what I want, because you either want me to go over the moon or go ham or hate somebody. But this is what it's going to look like. Like, he will get those touches up the gut. And also Ty Johnson will be very explosive in space if he gets that opportunity in game. And as we saw with the Cardinals, they will go away from the cold hand. If Ray Davis, with that initial opportunity, turns out to be the cold hand, Ty Johnson could emerge to be the guy. This is all in game. This is all fragility from play to series, but it's common sense, and football is going to football. Both of these guys have upside. Ty Johnson would be the cheaper play. Ray Davis, as we already monitored from Twitter and from the market and what people were saying, from what was going on in the numbers and trending on Sleeper, would be your fat buster because they're going to lean into next year. He will probably get the opportunities up the gut early, but if he's the cold hand early, Ty Johnson can run hot fast. He's explosive. He has the potential, even with less work, to outscore Ray Davis on any given Sunday. Ray Davis has the potential to give you some good RB2 weeks. He showed that last year. Both these running backs, heavy consideration depending on your context. Kenneth Gainwell, heavy consideration depending on your context. Remember Arthur Smith, he's the puppet master here. He's going to mess around with these running backs. He did that with Bijan Robinson. We don't trust it. If Warren goes down, he will get opportunity. But imagine if he goes down and it's multiple games, Caleb Johnson will start to get messed with. Like, he'll probably have a game where he gets all the touches, and then we're all on the Caleb Johnson train, and then next week, he's nowhere to be found. That's the type of coaching you're looking at here with the running backs. That's what you're looking at here. Like, we're seeing 3 tight ends in this offense getting targets. But I want to stress that warning. There is potential upside here. He can catch the ball in the backfield. He's explosive, very productive out of Memphis. Very good running back prospect here. Kenneth Gainwell, though. Good prospect with the upside if Warren goes down. But still, the puppet master's there. Caleb Johnson, like I said, a lot of upside here. Remember, he only had 62 pass blocking reps at Iowa throughout his entire career, where most running backs drafted 3rd round or higher gets hundreds in a season. The lead target getter at Iowa last year only had 46 targets, and Caleb Johnson was the whole offense. He was not pass blocking. He was not working on those steps, the timing for that, and he is very opportune for that. A lot of people will run up and say he's bad at that. The Steelers knew this coming in. He was getting extra work in training camp, minicamp, and OTAs right off the rip. They were stressing that out. He's still a liability in those regards, considering the touches and workload he's been getting. But with the ball in his hands, vision, timing, and everything else, immense upside. That's something to pay attention to. That being said, when you're watching Caleb Johnson, just watch his touches and monitor the status of the other running backs. Brashard Smith, every single week, I can paint you a story of why to pick him up, but it's never enough for you to go all in. And that's it. It really depends on your context and what you got. You got the Colts, you got the Cowboys, and we're in the back end of the season. We got 3 targets, so we're not left for dead. Isaiah Pacheco is out. We're still getting enough snaps where it's like, okay, there's more, but not enough for us to really care. But the thing about him is, you know what he is. He's a lottery ticket. Can you afford a lottery ticket right now on your bench? Yes? Then this is a good lottery ticket to look at for later in the season. No? Then he's not for you. It's all according to your context right now. Keaton Mitchell's kind of the same way. He had a misfire in this game against the Browns. He's got 26% snap share, highest of his season. There was a lot of hype for him going in to his last few weeks of the season right now. There's a lot of hype for him among the Baltimore Ravens, Twitterverse, or whatever. He's very explosive. He's a breath of fresh air out there. He's a shotgun back. I would not be surprised somewhere down the line these next few games, he breaks free, blows up with one big play. That's just his game. That's his game. And alongside Derrick Henry of just pounding it up the gut, blobbing it up, you got Keaton Mitchell. You get him on the outside with some green. That could be some big changes. That could be some huge changes. Also, Justice Hill's been banged up. That's the catalyst of the extra snaps. But again, a lottery ticket, kind of like Brashard Smith, but he's also shown himself that he can pop off. Tahj Brooks. We're watching Samaje Perine. Going into last week, the reports were out that ankle injury could be a long-term thing. So we're watching him. If Chase Brown goes down, you're snatching. Upside record setter from Texas Tech. He's in Chase Brown's shoes right now before he broke out. You're just waiting for that moment and opportunity. This is an offense that can allow a running back like this to break out and get you good production. Jaleel McLaughlin, splitting the workload here with R.J. Harvey, and that could continue. It could equate to enough reps where he splashes, getting work in the passing game. We're going to come off bye. This might jazz up R.J. Harvey a little bit more for the back end of the season, but something to monitor. Malik Davis is getting that work. I don't know if you want him as the pickup off the Dallas Cowboys. Jaden Blue's there. He's in the doghouse. He's fumbled. He's in the doghouse. This is more proof of that. But if you're looking for the next man up, might be Phil Mafah's on IR. You may want to look at him. Good feet, good balance, good wiggle. He might be back sooner than later. He has been practicing like off to the side. That has been noted. We are watching film. Those are the running backs that we're looking at going into week 12. Who are you picking up? Let us know in the comments below. We want to hear about that. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.